So the first thing we want to establish before we even worry about the form is it legal to broadcast buyer agent compensation? So this is the National Association of Realtors attorney responding to a question on that subject. Now, I have all sorts of context inside your sales advocate course, the law and everything else. But this is just the initial thing that you'll see, or one of the initial things you'll see, and one of the initial things your sellers will see if you send them to certifiedseller.org to get their training and then come back to you with a form as an agent authorizing you to broadcast buyer agent compensation. It's very important, and we'll stress that the impetus comes from the seller to you, because you're not supposed to be talking to them, advising them, especially as to levels of agent compensation, if you want to avoid lawsuits for yourself and your sellers in the future. So, but here's what the National Association of Realtors said, and then we're going to go over the form, and then you'll be a certified seller advocate, at least get ready to be one.
Can you tell me if the proposed settlement prohibits offers of compensation?
Offers of compensation will continue to be an option for consumers to pursue off the MLS, consultation, and negotiation with real estate professionals. However, effective August 17, 2024, the MLS can no longer be used to communicate offers of compensation, and where there is an offer of compensation made off the MLS, there will be no policy requiring that such offers be blanket, unilateral, and unconditional. Instead, once an MLS participant obtains a seller's approval to make an offer, the offer of compensation can be shared through other common marketing vehicles, such as flyers, signs, emails, and other communication mechanisms off of the MLS. For example, a broker can show offers of compensation for their listings on their website display. However, they must not display offers of compensation for other brokers' listings on their website display if it relies upon any MLS data or data feeds.
For more information, please visit facts.realtor.
Okay, so a couple of points. Negotiation.
And negotiation with real estate professionals.
Okay, so what they're saying there, and you can also see this if you understand that the DOJ, when the California Association of Realtors was going to create forms, that they had created forms for about 7 days, in which listing agents were going to explain buyer agent compensation and negotiate buyer agent compensation with their agents, the DOJ said no. That's what's been reported. And they removed those forms. And the reason is that it is still possible for sellers to offer buyer agent compensation when it's in consultation with a real estate professional. And whenever I've seen Carr and NAR use those terms before, and it was mostly during the short sale days, it meant with a tax advisor and an attorney, not the realtor. The realtor is one type of real estate professional, but you're already the realtor, and they've already removed the forms in Carr. So who are they talking about? They're talking about lawyers. Your sellers should be advised by an attorney if they're going to offer broadcast buyer agent compensation, or if they're going to even offer it in response to a request by a buyer, because there are risks. We go over the risks more in detail in the course that you'll be welcome to, but you want to watch out for DOJ concerns. My major concern would be steering and compromising the fiduciary duty of the buyer's agents, provided you're following a two-step listing process where you don't negotiate or talk about levels of buyer agent compensation in your listing agreement. That should be during your listing consultation. It should be very, very clear that if you want to avoid getting your brokerage sued, if you want to avoid getting the seller sued afterwards, you and the seller don't conspire on setting the buyer agent's price and their compensation ahead of time. Not until you're a buyer, not until you've got the home listed, it's on the MLS. Your seller has time to consult with an attorney to understand the process. And then the seller comes back to you with a form authorizing you to broadcast, and then more conversation can be had there. It's a very important part of the process. I go into more detail later, and if you want to ask Q&As, I'd love to do webinars on this with you all if you're motivated. But right now, we just saw the attorney say, in consultation with a real estate professional, don't offer compensation on a website if it's got MLS data, which our software is going to take care of. We got a listing site that you can create a good template for it. You can create it to your heart's content, but make a separate website. And you can certainly consider broadcasting buyer agent compensation in those emails. 10, 15, 20% get through. New channels. We're creating a new channel in our seller advocate community. I would also go to, I had a lot of success when I was offering more than the customary amount by going to the caravans and explaining why my house, our seller's house, was better, different, whatever it was, and that because we recognize that some buyers are going to need a strong, smart agent to explain this to them and why it's a value, we're offering you all a chance to come out of your way, learn about this property so you can advise your clients properly. And they clapped at some of the meetings when I offered an extra 0.5%. Literally, I think every time they clapped. I said, we value you. We know why. Here's why. Great house. Come see for yourself. I'd really like, but to compensate you for your time to learn about this so you can bring strong buyers, here it is. So we got reload buyers, we got strong buyers, and I got claps at the caravan. And that's when we were still broadcasting buyer agent compensation on the MLS. So there's unquestionably works. We'll go into more detail about why, when, and how in the course. But just know that it is legal to do so. So now we're going to go, let me take this out. Let me go back. This is the Certified Seller Advocate course. Oh, I don't know if I needed to save it. I don't think I made a lot of changes. But let me go back to all our products. So well, there's communities, and this is a membership area that you would give. When you have your membership area, you can give clients access to these things. But this is when this is ready, after we have our webinars and this is all set up, your sellers, if you'd like, you can send your sellers to Certified Seller Advocate certifiedseller.org, and they'll see this course. This is what they'll go in and see. They'll have the quick 5-minute video. I'll probably shorten what we just saw from Mr. Lee there at NAR. I'll talk to them about the risks, and then I'll say, and when you're ready to offer compensation, you want to go to the forms section and download. For instance, this form is for the seller authorizing you, the listing agent, to broadcast buyer agent compensation. So we're going to preview that form quickly, and you'll see. Oh, yeah, I got to save it again. So I'm saving it. Yes, I'll replace it, and then I'll open it up. Okay, so I certainly know that we could make these forms prettier. So once we agree that we're all happy with it, it's not a conflict with your business, the sellers are well advised, they'll become, there's a draft form now, but we'll put them in a prettier format, or someone can help me do that. And then we'll have the final, I believe these work now. I will use them in my office, but I know we can make them prettier. But let me just say, it's the usual things. I highly recommend a flat fee. So let's say your seller wants to offer 2% on $1 million listing. What I would do is I'd say $20,000. But what I would actually do is I'd say, well, let's offer $19,000 or $19,500, but let's save $500 to $1,000 of that, depending on your area, to make sure that the buyer puts an attorney on their team and that buyer is paid out of escrow on the close. Because there's all sorts of issues with offering buyer agent compensation, whether it be broadcast or just part of it, that the DOJ has brought up and the class action lawyers are brought up. Some of it is related to transparency and understanding. Many buyers and sellers feigned like, oh, I didn't know I was paying someone to negotiate against me. I didn't know they were paying my agent, so my agent was incentivized to make me pay too much for the property and buy the properties. So we're designing forms to make sure the buyers initial and say, I understand, and they're going to have an attorney on their team. At that point in time, whether you've broadcast or not, I think you then your seller can feel more comfortable that successful lawsuits are going to be minimized, if not highly improbable. So in this form, we're going to talk about some of the risks. Compromising the buyer agent's fiduciary duties. Our offer of compensation may potentially create conflicts of interest for buyers agents and the buyers with whom they are working, causing agents to prioritize their own compensation over their duty to represent the best interests of the buyer. So, two ways to work around that. This was brought up by the DOJ in one of the class action suits, the Massachusetts PIN case, and one of the ways around this is to offer a flat fee instead of a percentage. I'm not saying 100% you have to offer a flat fee, or if you forgot, it's maybe not the end of the world, but a flat fee sure goes a long way to showing the DOJ you're complying with their concerns, and you're minimizing the risks of incentivizing a buyer agent to pay too much. So why not make a flat fee, even if it's somewhere around the price that you hope to sell the property? Now, the other thing is that when there's an attorney advising buyers, government workers back down. I was once investigated. I don't know. They opened it up. I got a call from an officer at the Department of Real Estate and saying that someone representing the buyer said, your sellers now have twice sold properties under the offers that they made. And these were fixer-uppers that were people highly wanted. And I explained to the agent working for the DRE that it wasn't the first round. These were the second round. The first round, my clients went with the highest offers, the strongest offers in terms of price, even though those against what I said. Well, they're like, well, I feel like I have a duty to the estate to do that. I'm like, okay. And both times, the buyers came in, did their inspections, saw that there was work to be done, and backed out and wasted time. And so then both times, it was the same lady, actually, it was working for the estate, said, let's just go with a seller in this ballpark that's going to close on time because we need to move this estate along. We got to get it through the courts and everything else. And so then I made sure that we had a strong buyer who I had experience with who closed and didn't back down, didn't, like in fixer-uppers, people all the time come in and try to renegotiate price. Said, this person's going to give you the pro forma. They're going to close at the price they said. They're professionals. They've done this for a long time. I've worked with them, and they're within $2,500 of your best offer. Both times she took it, and the property's closed. But I got a complaint from an agent who said I must have been self-dealing or whatever else. So I got a call from the DRE. I explained that, and then I said, and both times, the lawyer who actually sent me the cases advised their seller that because of time constraints, they should definitely take an offer from someone to close. And the DRE workers, officer, I think he was even he had an official title, like he was a law enforcement officer. He said, oh, well, you should have just told me that at the beginning. If they're being advised by an attorney, no problems. Right? So that's what happens. When you put an attorney on the buyer's team, you're going to a long way to, I don't know, insulate yourself or minimize the risks, if not extinguishing the risks. So that's compromising the buyer's fiduciary duties. Steering. We're not going to get around steering all that easily, but you're going to notice a paradox here. Because of the training on the internet now, buyer's agents are being told they have to go in and tell a seller, hey, I'm going to work for 2% or 3% or whatever that number is. And if the seller or the listing agent is not offering 2 or 3%, you would have to come to the closing with money out of your own pocket. Are you willing to do that? And you would anticipate a very large amount of buyers would say, no, you need to get paid out of the transaction. I'm not going to come to the closing table with extra money. And so they're like, okay, so then if they're not offering me this extra compensation, I'll basically, they're saying, I'm only going to go show you properties where they're going to be offering that kind of compensation then. Is that okay with you? Yes. I'll give you another list and I'll say, those people aren't offering, those people are. Is that okay with you? Yes. In this way, now steering and offering buyer agent compensation, making it broadcast, putting on your own website, letting people call a number where your AI responds and lets them know instantly could be a super big edge that you can explain to your sellers that will obviously cause the buyer agent to steer the buyer, but this time the buyer is more informed. So when you've got the buyer being informed by our forums, by an attorney on their team, and this process, I think the risks of steering, again, will be minimized. Not eliminated, but done right, it should be minimized. Now, there's been another argument about predetermining the level of buyer agent compensations. I think, again, our forms that we're going to make the buyer sign go a long way to explaining to them that it's negotiable and it's their choice to pay the buyer's agent. Potential legal actions by the buyer. buyers could be part of a class action suit, and buyers could also use buyer agent compensation as leverage after they bought the property to try to reopen it and gain more money. I know that this happens from properties that we've sold ourselves. I work with one of the agents in my office. We've renovated and flipped properties. And the buyers were so sophisticated, they sued him and not me in small claims court. And they extracted $2,500 saying we should have been aware of this problem about one of the pipes in a basement not being attached. And we doubt it got by inspections that way. I think they were just trying to extract a little extra money. And we did pay that money. We paid the $2,500 because Phil didn't really want to be in court. And I didn't blame him. And they kept me out of it because I put it in small claims court instead of superior court where I could have been there as an attorney. It was crazy intelligent at what they did. Now, I've also gotten many, many calls from disgruntled buyers who want to say, who say, oh, they should have disclosed this, or I can't believe the price of my property. I overpaid. This is crazy. And normally what stops this from going on is like, if they have a case, sometimes they don't. But I go, there's a chance you could win, but I don't do that kind of work on a contingency fee. So I would have to charge you a $5,000 or $10,000 evergreen retainer, and I'll bill against it. And, we'll come up to speed. I'll send a demand letter. I'll talk about what your options are. We can pursue them. And if you want to continue to pursue them, we can. And then as I got older, I said, but I don't litigate anymore. So I can refer you to someone who does. But that's the normal speech. However, if a seller's improperly offered buyer agent compensation, or you've done it, or the brokerage has done it, well, guess what? You've now put a target on yourselves and the seller. So again, we're going to have forms where there's a waiver of their right to participate in lawsuits, both class action and individual suits for buyer agent compensation. Now, I'm not claiming that those waivers are foolproof, but they're going to go a long way to minimizing and mitigating the risks. Now, there's other possible risks, as there always were, that we're not aware of right now, but I had to throw that in there since it's always the case. So here you can see the seller's initials. Here, presumably, not everyone's going to want to pay when they go to certifiedseller.org. I mean, in my experience, most people do not want to pay for an attorney ahead of time. I don't think a lot of your clients will, but they'll have the option. I'm not going to push it. That's not the point of this business model. I'm not going to push it. But it'll be available. If there's tremendous demand, I'll have to hire people because I'll put in I'll offer 10 to 15 hours a week in the beginning. I'll do some free ones for the people that take me up on a more advanced offer. We'll do some free ones with their sellers and them there in the beginning. So they can be in the client area for those who want to watch. They could be in your area if you'd like them to be there. They'll probably get on YouTube to talk about how great the Certified Seller Advocate program is. But in the end, I don't expect that to be a big center. Basically, when you're a certified seller's advocate, you're going to have two choices. Send them to certifiedseller.org, and I'm going to charge them a minimal fee. I'm thinking $47 or $27. Or if you don't like that, you can join our upgraded membership where we'll give you a sort of the back door into there, and you'll have the forms anyway. I still think it'd be best at least, the training could be in your membership area that I've done and that we've done together. But if we've done any together. But I think you still want to have the forms come from a communication with myself or my office or my website so that the seller says, yes, I completed the training. I'm aware of the risk. Please send me the form. And then as principal, we give it to you. To me, that's the optimal process. You might be able to talk me out of that over time or as we see the cases develop. But to me, the process to protect you and the seller is to have them talk to me or collaborate with me or watch my videos. Ask for the form, I send it to them, then they sign it and bring it to you. So they're directing you as principal. They understand the risks. They want to offer buyer agent compensation. They're directing you to do it for them. Here's where they say they've waived it or they didn't. Now, here's where they're saying we want to put, and you can cross that out and put $500 in. We can make different forms in the future. But I, as part of this program, I would like every time the seller is paying buyer agent compensation, some money gets subtracted out to pay for a buyer's attorney on the HUD. Now, if we're seriously running into problems about buyer's agents not being able to find attorneys who are willing to work for a reasonable amount of money, I'll create, I already got the home buyer, certifiedhomebuyer.org or something. I've already got the website, but I'm not really thrilled about doing that because I'm not sure. It'd take a lot of work to get around the potential conflicts of interest. So I want to see how this works first. And maybe I'll just get other agents, other attorneys. I guess that's what I'm going to do. I'll help over time if this is a successful program. I'll very quickly start getting buyer's attorneys in to the program. All right, so that's it. So basically, you're now a certified seller advocate. You've got this form for free. And if you are interested, some of you have probably already signed up for the 30-day trial. It was $47 and a 30-day trial. Last I checked, all those prices are definitely subject to change based on my marketing costs. As my marketing costs go up, I'm going to charge more. If the marketing costs go down, conceivably, I can move it down too. But I don't know. Could you imagine? I suppose the price could change. That's what I'm saying. Now, there'll be an offer on the next page or on the side here. In Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels marketing parlance, there'll be a bulk continuity offer. So there will be a 1-year membership to the Getting Clients Pro software. And then when it continues, as long as you continue with the subscription, you all will be, whether you paid the $47 and you do it for years, as long as you're a paid subscriber, that's going to take care of the Certified Seller Advocate membership. Now, for those of you who are subscribing to the software, whether you do the bulk continuity or you continue to subscribe, your sellers are not going to have to pay the $47 for Certified Seller Advocate. There'll be a separate page, and they'll be able to log in there. I will have varying levels of this bulk continuity offer. Depending on how much work it takes, I could see myself making a subdomain or subdirectory, but probably subdomains. I know how to do those with your last name or some other identifier. So you could say Agent John at the certifiedselleradvocate.com, and the login there would say your name, and the login would get them into the course, the training, and the forms for free. I'm going to, okay, so I'll just put it this way. If you're one of the first 20 people to sign up, and that'll be, if you're seeing that offer, that means 20 people, the first 20 people to sign up when you're seeing this. For the next 20 people and the time it takes to change the offer, which could be a day or two, that will be the price, and everyone who does this will get that, presuming that it's technically possible, and I believe it is because I've made subdomains. I will let everyone who signs up for the bulk continuity offer have their own URL, the first 20 people. It'll be like your name .certifiedselleradvocate.com. So I'll take the time to go in there and figure out how to do, how to let them into the membership area, and they'll get the training and the software. I'm not really sure. So you'll get the software at a slight discount for the year. You'll get the AI employee till the end of 2024. There's a free trial. You'll get the software, the training, the Certified Seller Advocate, continuing relationship, your own URL. And let me just say that inside the community and the Certified Seller, we're going to build out the community, find a way so we can broadcast buyer agent compensation to all the other agents that are interested in the property, hopefully inexpensively, or maybe they'll have to come there and search. But instead of having to spend money broadcasting flyers with the email services, hopefully we'll get this certified seller advocate program to be, I already know we can broadcast to everybody, but I want to limit it by geography. I don't know if we're going to succeed there, but we'll find a way to do something like that if we can. So that'll be something we're going to build out in 2025. We're also going to do, if a lot of people sign up and you're getting the UpX software and I'm making some money, I will advertise for different funnels. Like the funnels I really want to do, Facebook and YouTube marketing, but I think we'll start with Facebook because we have the UpX software. We'll set up the templates, and then we'll do, and I've done this before, it does produce leads. So there would be a seller guide training. Then there would be sell your home fast. Sell your home when you have one to buy. There'll be all sorts of seller leads and buyer leads with the funnels into the AI response, whether it be through voice or AI text. I mean, you'd be surprised on these. I've already got training in there from a guy named Quinn. He shows how you can get leads at a very reasonable price, fast seller leads off of Facebook. Maybe it was $25, $30 a lead with a 20% to 25% conversion rate, where they fill out the forms where they explain how fast they want to sell, the condition of the property, and things like that. And so now you have a lead that's already done work with you. They know that you've responded quickly, and they filled out the information because they want to take an offer. Now, you're said, we can get you the fast offers. I don't know about you, but every time I get a listing, especially a fixer-upper, I have dozens of people who want to buy fixer-uppers contact me. But we also have the ability to say, hey, we can get you offers. We have them as part of our MLS membership, right? Or, yeah, in the back ends, there's companies, there's Open Door, all these other companies that will still pay you a commission and make offers on your property. So you can do that. And you can also say, if you want to sell fast, we can get you these offers within 24, 48 hours or 7 days. If you have a little bit more time, we can put you on the MLS without offering any buyer agent compensation and see if we get you stronger offers. And then the third stage would be buyer agent compensation. So there's all sorts of funnels and training that we're going to be producing monthly and show you our results in San Diego, which is a really difficult market. So that's one of the things that people will be getting inside the Certified Seller Advocate community. So I would say that the bulk continuity offer, I've got some other things in my mind. Maybe they'll make it in right now. But the main one with the bulk continuity offer is that you're going to be able to send your clients to a URL with your name on it, and they are not going to have to pay for as long as you're a subscriber. So thank you. Welcome to the program. And then another thing with respect to the software, great time to go through the onboarding funnel and get set up. The onboarding funnel, there's information you have to fill out a form anyway. Tell them like your URL is and all these other things. And then our team is going to help you walk you through the funnel. There'll be 4 contacts with members of our team that will be helping you set up Getting Clients Pro. And then when you have questions, they'll follow up with you like 30 days later. So it's really a tremendous onboarding program. I highly recommend you take advantage of this before it gets really busy and the wait times to get set up could be a lot longer. And especially if it's before the end of 2024, when you'll get, because Getting Clients Pro is on Go High Level. Go High Level is making the AI employee, unlimited AI, available for free to everybody till the end of 2024, starting November 15th. Great time to give this a shot. Thanks. Look forward to talking to you in the program. I'll be announcing when we have a bunch of people signed up. We'll have weekly webinars as long as they're productive to everything else. Answer your questions in webinars. I'm really looking forward to doing this. Thank you.